we got our stuff in storage. Pretty nice place. I'm on the 3rd floor. This is pretty much all I have. I still got to bring in the full-size mattress. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to roll it up because it's memory foam, or just bring it in and just shove it in there. It'll fit right there. And then the other few things are crates, and that's it. We're gonna get a trailer. Hola amigos, hola amigos. Hello, Mr. Amigos. Hello, 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 amigos. Hello, 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 amigos. Hello, hello, hello out there in the world in the Milky Way, in this galaxy that we are in. Hello, hello, aliens, and all right, stop. Hello, amigos. As you know, I try to make these videos 15 minutes or less, so he says. Cuckoo, cuckoo. I have these special glasses with a yellow tint that really help when you're looking at the computer screen. Okay, so what do we got today? Well, today, you guys, first, let's start with this. Okay, I was packing and I got a storage. I paid $80-some to start, and I took my stuff to the storage all the way to Miramar. Oh my God. But that's the cheapest place I could find for $51. So I did give my 30-day notice, as you saw in the previous video. I thought that was it. I thought I'm finally leaving, right? I thought that was it. I started to ask questions on this trailer that I found, 22-foot trailer. The guy wanted $1,500, and then I said, you know what? I said, what is it gonna cost to get it registered? This 1988 22-foot latent travel trailer. So I said, and I liked it because it has a roof rack, 2 doors, and the guy lives in it, and it has some kind of a special rubber roof. And as you can see, it looks very nice. You know, with a ladder in the back also, and he's got it hooked up to power, to water, 2 propane tanks. As far as the refrigerator, I said, I don't need that. I thought of removing that and converting that section into a guitar storage, padded really, really nice with pretty velvet of some color, and then put like LED lights on top, and then put like dividers, because I've got, how many guitars I got? I got the bass, the acoustic, and 2 electric. I got 4 guitars, and they got some other material that it looks like glass, and then just put a door. It'll look really, really cool, because I've got my own refrigerator. And then I started looking at other things that I could remove and modify, and I was also looking at these aluminum square L brackets. And I said, because if you remove some of the cabinetry, I said, how are you going to hold it? I found these aluminum braces, 1 inch by 1 inch, that you could build like an actual reinforcement. And I said, wow, I should put 3 of them. 1 in the front, 1 in the middle, 1 in the back, and that will prevent it from swaying. So anyway, I said, you know what? I said, I'm gonna go down to the DMV, and I'm gonna find out how much I gotta pay out of my pocket, because it hasn't been registered. And the guy even sent me the registration. He paid $251. I think like 3 years ago. So anyway, so I went to the DMV. For that size of trailer or anything similar to it, I would have to be paying 3 years, because they charge you at least 3 years back pay. And you have to pay between $700 and $800 all the way to $1,000, maybe a little bit more. So you're looking at anywhere from $700 to $1,000 that you gotta pay for a trailer that's within that size, maybe an 18, 19, 20. So I messaged the guy, and he was willing to bring down the price of the difference that I had to pay. So I could have gotten that trailer for maybe $1,100. But again, I would still have to pay close to $1,000. So we're talking the worst, $2,000, okay? And then you have to make sure it's got good tires, the seals, not the seals, the bearings. And I was gonna put it in storage for at least a month so I can get it ready to Baja, to this place called Cielito Lindo, San Quintin. I found a video that this guy made. So this is the place. Okay, yes, it looks great and everything, but it's quite isolated. First of all, this is the little town of Cielito Lindo. His house is the one that is in the it's like aquamarine, turquoise colored. It's the only one that's in that color. And if you look at it, look at the distance the beach is to. Everywhere you go, you have to walk through this very long walk, no matter which direction you go. This is the town, that's it. So I began to ask the guy, I said, hey man, is there any taco shop if I get hungry at night? I go, what about a pharmacy? Is there a pharmacy anywhere near there? I said, I don't even see the main road. So I said, wow, man, where is this place? And then I said, is there any taxis? You know how they have in Tijuana, those microbuses, the little small ones? Wow, man, how far is it to that beach? If you look real close, there's palm trees, but they're at a distance, which means you literally have to walk pretty far to get to the beach. Of course, it's easy for him because he's on a quad all the time, romping around all over the beach. The guy says that I would have a concrete pad, and if you look at the pictures, there's 1, 2, 3 concrete pads open, and they all have a water container thingamajig that this water guy comes to fill it up. It's not for drinking though. And then it's got a septic tank. I don't know how big it is, but you get that also. It's under $200, he said, which is really affordable. But again, problem is that there's nothing there as far as amenities, a market, a pharmacy, a taxi, a microbus. Yeah, there's a hotel right next door with a small little RV park. I mean, the hotel has a small little restaurant. But if you look at the distance, again, just to get to the beach, that's a pretty good distance, I think. And just think, if you want to go there to the beach at night to look at the stars at night, you literally need to be safe one of those quads to get out there. I mean, it doesn't look like a dangerous place because it's a tiny little pueblito, little pueblo, tiny one. And I don't think you're going to have crime there at all, because it's one of those towns that everybody knows who is who. When I first saw this video, I just found it by accident. It reminded me of Colorado. It reminded me of the little house that I was living at in a place called, it's way out in the sticks. And I got so depressed that I slipped briefly to my addiction. I think I mentioned that before. This was in 2014, I think. It was just so depressing, and then with no family, no friends, nothing, I didn't want to ask question after question after question after question, because some people get bothered too much, Well, I mean, I think I have a right to know. I mean, I'm going to drive 5 frickin' hours down there. I figure I have a right to know, right? And if you want to go, so I think the restaurant, that hotel is to the far left in the corner, top left corner. And then you got to walk to the beach. Like I said, you see that one road, that white road there. You got to go all the way to the right. All the way to the top, and there's a straight line going way towards the far right. That's a long walk. That is a long walk, man. No bueno. I don't know, you guys. So what did I do? Well, unfortunately, I had to give a letter to cancel my 30-day notice, and now I got to go back to the storage and cancel that and bring my stuff back, because why pay $50-some for a storage that I don't need? And it's not a lot. So where are we heading to now? Well, I hope that I may have enough money next month to buy a year's worth of Mexican insurance so that I can go down to Ensenada, Rosarito, and see what my options are. Whether to rent a house down there where it's more close to people, taco stand, taxis. I lived in Ensenada once at the end of going towards the vineyards. And I remember I hated it because it was an area that is so secluded also. Those microbuses and vans, they hardly ever passed by there. So if you wanted to go get a taco at night, same thing. I know me. I want tacos, man, at all times of the night, or or day or whatever. You had to walk a pretty long ways to go to the main road, and I was like right at the entrance of Ensenada at the last toll bridge. I forget what it's called. And I used to hate it because I had to get out from the facility, from the compound I lived in, and then you had to walk all the way down this really long stretch, and then you can get those microbuses. There was buses that went there. The majority of them were agriculture people going to work at the vineyards and places like that. And sometimes they would stop. They would pass by, but they only passed by like every 30 or 40 minutes. And sometimes when they did pass by, oh my God, they were so full that they didn't even stop. So you had to wait another freaking 30, 40 minutes. So I said, you know what, man? I said, I'm gonna run into the same problem if I go to this place in San Quintin, Cielito Lindo. I said, that's not what I want. You know, yeah, I want to live peaceful and quietly, but at least with some kind of amenities somewhat nearby, you know, like I said, a pharmacy, you know, some tacos stand, a market, you know, and then to drive 5 hours from San Diego to there, better think about that twice, boy. So I did, and I had to cancel it, you guys. I tell you what, I felt so devastated, you guys, because I said, wow, I said, I gotta stay here now in this apartment. Fuck, again. It felt like all my dreams were just shot. The trailer vision, everything. Well, this is where I want to go, and I say if I have enough money left, because I have to pay the registration, $260 some. I paid the damn ticket this month, $100. I think it was 50 some dollars, the balance, but then I had to pay some other stuff. And so I hope I have some money left to get the insurance, because I want to go down to Ensenada, and I didn't want to go to Rosarito, but now I'm starting to, well, maybe, you know, maybe consider looking at places there, a house. But I also want to go find RV parks, you know, that are affordable. And also to look at land, because as a Mexican citizen, I can buy land without a bunch of hassles. And I thought, if I can find a piece of land that I feel safe, where I'm not going to have, with maybe an ocean view, and that there's not going to be a future property in the front of me where they're going to build some 2-story, you know, lot where they block your view, I might go for that. And then I even looked at a school bus, a mini school bus. I wouldn't mind the idea of a little mini school bus. And I found some really neat looking ones with very low miles, like 70,000 miles. I just need to rest my head, I think, and plan really, really well, you know, what I'm going to do next. So that's where I'm at, you guys. So next month will be a lot of driving down to Baja. Hopefully I have enough money left and stay out there for days also. And yes, I'm going to videotape them. Everything I do, you guys, I'm going to videotape them. And if you can help me, if you can give me ideas, that would be wonderful. I would love to hear your ideas also. And an apartment is not going to work. It's got to be a house. It's got to be, or an RV place, and as close as possible to the ocean also. And like I said, that little school bus does sound very tempting, a little school bus, because they're squared, they're big, and I can definitely convert that into a music studio and to live in it with a shower and the works. Yes, I could. So I think the one I saw was 19,000 though. I think it's something like that. I don't remember. Here in California with 69,000 miles. That's not bad. Anyway, you guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again. And thank you for sticking around this long. Thank you for watching my videos. Adios, amigos. Adios, 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 adios. Vámonos, vámonos. Bye-bye.